Welcome back, my delinquents. Today we have a story that I'm going to bring in here with a bit shorter than the rest in between the mind-numbing pain of the edits I'm doing right now that are ages long. As we have what I want to put as the dumbest freaking end of the world scenario kind of drama now going on that's going over Twitter about Rin Penrose, and every VTuber, every watcher has to have their 2 cents on because she has chosen to part ways of gamer subs and make an announcement of it. And every single person is trying to connect it with every single controversial person because they say a creator whose views strongly conflict with their own, they don't want to deal with gamer subs anymore, which is fine, I guess. We all choose who we deal with, and everyone does this to a certain degree where you may not want to interact with people because they're not what you like or not your cup of tea or whatever. You don't have to interact with anyone you don't want to. You don't have to do sponsors with anyone you don't want to. So I find this controversy very silly, as this has gone crazy. 50,000 likes almost all over Twitter on one post, crazy. But I do think people are taking this a bit too personally and blowing it up more than it is, and I'll line out the reasons why I think that and why I think this is a personal choice that every creator gets to make. You shouldn't have to be stuck with a sponsor or deal with any creator you don't want to deal with. But you may be also asking, which creator do they think this is bad? People are pointing in 2 ways. It's either from Cinder or Curse, which probably saying wrong, and their opinions are very different depending who they think it's about. So let's get into the story. We are in the case room. So let's go into this post that seemed to have just ruffled everyone's tail feathers and exploded the VTuber scene. Again, the only thing that's rocked it harder than Cinder lately. From Rin. Notice, due to their association with creators whose views strongly conflict with my own, as well as lack of communication from the company on this issue, I have chosen to end my affiliation with GamerSups effective immediately. Thank you for your support. I'm going to go into 2 parts of this. One, again, I think you don't have to associate with anyone you don't want to, but the bigger thing outlining here is their lack of communication and them being silent. A lot of people has complained about this, that GamerSups have just left them on red about their questions about stuff recently, so that's another part of it. If you are a higher status or a GamerSups, when you email them, you would hope for an email back, I would assume. And that's kind of frustrating that you can't even get clarification about it, so I can understand that. Also, I want to say here, but the main thing is, this is not uncommon. I wanted to underline that making a notice of that you no longer affiliate with a sponsor, etc., is not uncommon. It's pretty normal, I would say, for bigger creators, especially Rin's ex-corpo, so they do it more by the book with these kind of things, to just announce that I'm not doing business with these people anymore. No, that's just how they do it. I don't really know why. I wouldn't, because I'm lazy, but that's about it. But I would clarify if someone's asked, but that's each to their own. Some people do it like this. But let's go into the reply so I can talk to you about why people are so angry. This is generally so disappointing to see for multiple reasons. From Ketsu, Kenny, B, in my beloved Safri, based as always, Rin, what happened, Ariri, that's it. Yes, guilt by association, the bedrock of American values are a fair justice system. No, it just, maybe you don't want to deal with them. It's not guilt by value, because companies do this all the time, and I find this very weird. Any companies based around any kind of values would separate themselves from things that don't connect to their values. Christian shows do it. Christian companies, whatever, left wing, right wing, whatever, they all do it. And I find it weird that she's saying she's doing guilt by association just because she's putting a line for herself where the line is, which I think is everyone's right. Understandable, but careful you don't fall into the trap that where people start pointing out problematic content creators for any and all other sponsors, because once that shit starts, it never stops. But that's the thing. They're assuming she's being whispered in her ear by someone saying that, oh, this creators are bad, don't associate with them. Or maybe they just crossed a line they're not comfortable with, so they think it's best to leave the company so they're not affiliated with them. Everyone has their different levels of what's acceptable to them. And Rin just say it's Cinder. And that's why a lot of people, which I find very interesting here, think it's perfectly fine if they did this because of Cinder. Even though a few people say it's dumb because Bao and other people haven't left GamerSups, mainly because they're part owners. So if it's not Cinder and it's Kurt, who's political, which a lot of people may not want to affiliate with because a lot of VTubers and streamers don't want to deal with political crap. Fair. Oh, she's dumb, she's stupid, she's ridiculous, she's out of it, she's just cancel culturing if it's Kurt. But if it's Cinder, it's fine. Which, yes, Cinder did some I'm not going to say that word because I can't say it on YouTube, assholey things. But I would say what Kurt says, no opinion on it fully because I don't know them enough, But I would say some things they say are a brand problem, at the very least, that a lot of companies would want to avoid. Because what they say could be seen as extreme at times. And that is also fair, you know what I mean? People can put the line wherever they want. It's a personal choice. They don't have to put up with everyone to be fair. If that makes sense to you guys. Elfin, please don't tell me it's because of Kirsch, because if so, oof, which is one of the videos we're editing right now is on Elfin and their many boyfriend cheating scandal. Disavowing a talent for being funded by Israel, kind of weird, but you do you. What? See, I don't understand some of these connections. I think it's because apparently the company Idol used to be owned by an Israel company, then was sold to a different company, and then Rin left. Who the frick knows where the company is situated? And then you can't leave after you have an IP until an opportunity comes up to sell it. If you ask a lot of them that are ex-corpo or have changed companies, it is pain and agony to change once you're in a corporation. If it's because Kurt's good riddance to you. I don't understand why people are so mad if you disagree with someone online. Doesn't mean you hate the person, you just don't agree with them. We're gonna need to be specific instead of passive aggressive on this champ. It's not passive aggressive, it's called slightly vague because they don't want to point fingers and they don't want anyone to get bullied, but they're leaving the sponsor. It's not that deep. When they on purposely didn't name names for a reason. A lot of people on here try and say she should name names, but why? I don't get it. Like, personally, everyone has their own values, and as long as they're not bullying or hurting other people, they can put their values down how they think is best for themselves. And I just find that so weird that people are grasping onto any little thing, onto the reason they can hate Rin, because they think they might disagree with a VTuber they like, even though they're assuming who Rin dislikes. Especially seeing there's also other reasons you can let go of sponsors that may not be mentioned. Conflicts. Or maybe they just didn't like the Cinder situation. Maybe they don't like how GamerSups is handling the Cinder situation or any of their controversies. There's a bajillion reasons why. And next up, your streamers don't have to like each other, guys. They don't have to like each other or have the same viewpoints, and they don't have to interact at all. They really don't. And I think it's for the best Rin doesn't mention who it is, because obviously it's gonna create a bigger shit show than it already is, as we can see here. And I just don't understand why this has gone so crazy. There is quite a few people backing up Rin that's like, that's your morals, and if you stick by them, that's good for you, kind of thing. And a lot of people point in here that it's kind of disappointing that Rin has been very popular and a fun part of the community, and as soon as they even have the slightest bit that could be construed an opinion against someone, that they don't even mention, that they get hate, they get slurs, they get attacked over everything and completely dehumanized like not a person because they left a sponsorship. Can you imagine this happening because of any other kind of sponsorship? Streamers leave sponsorships all the time. Oh, here's a good opinion. Talliode, another good VTuber channel. If you want the clearest sense of this crowd doesn't care about your creative impact or free speech, they just want you to appeal to their rancid ass beliefs. Take a look at the comments and quotes of a huge influence toward modern VTubing for not appealing to them. I'll have to say to this, it's free speech, and so is, it's not just free speech to the values I care about, you know what I mean? It has to be free speech in general, and free expression and free openness to defend your beliefs. It can't just be for only your opinions. And if you attack someone soon as they go against your opinions, or even in the defense of someone else saying your opinions, you don't care about free speech. You just care about controlling the narrative to your speech, if that makes sense. And I find that as someone who does allow both opinions to come in, I don't delete comments, I don't censor people on Twitter, Twitch and stuff unless it's TOS where you have to bad words or whatnot or sexual stuff, because I like to hear everyone's opinion, and if you keep it civil, I like talking about it. It keeps everyone learning and progressing forward. But as soon as you try and censor one side or the other 100% with harassment or threats or stuff, you are the problem. I'm gonna have to. From Zombabe, why are people crashing out when someone respectfully cut ties with a company they do not align with? Why are they so emotional about a creator they probably don't even watch enough to send hate in the comments? Laugh my ass off. That is a good point. I honestly don't care why people care so much about cutting ties with an energy drink company, where I personally don't even take energy drink sponsors because I don't drink them. But a lot of people don't sponsor with them for a lot of reasons, and this is just Rin's. And here is also one that went around Rosie, which I usually think their takes rather fair, but I don't connect with this one really because I don't understand the big deal here, but maybe other people do. So let's share it. I wish no unkindness to this person, but the fact they had to announce this on Twitter rather than just on stream. Before we go into that, I want to say that people say on Twitter, but I see a lot of people say on stream. Announcing things on stream is more clout chasey. So I think you're doomed if you do and doomed if you don't. No matter where you announce it, you're going to say it's clout chasey. Because Rin actually posts it on YouTube and her other channels too. It's just she also posted it on Twitter. I just wanted to say that some people find the opposite is true. That streaming is more clout chasey, give me views, etc. to announce stuff like this. To me, this feels like virtue signaling. The company isn't a platform or ideas. They are energy drinks and waifu merch. If you're going to be holier than thou about it, then you could at least inform people of who is problematic if you feel so strongly morally about them losing a part of their livelihood. I don't understand this point because we don't actually know what Rin asked. It's just that they seem to have not been clarified. We don't know if anyone's losing a part of their livelihood unless they mean Ren's, but I could just be reading that wrong. My point is, this is done for the sole purpose of moral high ground, and making it indirect doesn't change the fact that you made this post to profit, even though you're dropping a sponsor by trampling off the backs of the people not mentioned. I personally disagree, but I read it differently than this. I just read it that she wanted to give a reason, but not, shoot anyone in the foot and start a war over it, and I don't think it would be smart for her to mention who it is. My guess is Kirch. I personally think it could just be that Gamer Subs has chosen to not speak on any single drama that they've ever been in. So it could just be that. Silent as the grave. But I don't know the others. I've never met this person, but I'm not afraid to say her name at least, man. If someone's words are directly harmful, you would want to advocate for change on the platform these people, whoever they are, speak on. Twitch, YouTube, not for a company selling energy drinks to suddenly have to police opinions for. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't result in change, but it could look morally superior to some, I guess. I think the thing is, for some people, they don't want to associate with companies that go against their morals. If they have certain strong ones or certain strong beliefs, and I think that's fair. I wouldn't get up a Christian if they didn't want to align with anti-Christian companies or companies that supported people that were anti-Christian. Maybe I could understand that. I wouldn't, it's up to them, realistically, how far their beliefs go on that. You know what I mean? That's how I think of it, both sides of it. You have your own beliefs, and she's only holding herself accountable at this stage. She's not telling other people they have to unfollow, they have to do this, they have to do etc. That's where her beliefs align right now. I feel like I would have a different opinion on this if she was saying people, you should unfollow them too, or you shouldn't get sponsors by Gamer Subs. I would have a different opinion, but I can respect someone who has their values that they're trying to not be hypocritical about. That's fair. But everyone seems to have a very different opinion on this. It has been confusing me why so many people have been posting that they're dropping them as sponsor. It's because there's other people that are sponsored by them that they disagree with. I'm pretty sure that's the case with every sponsor. Allowed to be other. That's the thing. I do agree with that. That's why I mostly would not judge someone for having sponsors with iffy people or whatnot. Maybe if the company is run by them, because realistically, some of these places sponsor everyone and their dog. So there is no way to know who they sponsor. But I also can understand if you are not hard up on the money or you don't need the sponsor why you drop them, because most bigger creators are really picky with who they let sponsor, which is also fair. Seeing we are going over the other ones, even though they're not always popular. Bint, if you're going to harass Rin Penrose for dropping G-subs, I think you should just leave this community. It's impossible to dismiss this one for petty reason. She's a very respected name with zero drama who's given far more and has a far better standing than Kirsch. Personally, I don't think Kirsch should be brought into this because they're not even mentioned. No matter your problem with Kirsch, it's like, this isn't about her and you don't have to smack her into it to get involved, you know what I mean? This could have just went under the radar. As a virtual signal to a group of people who at the moment will spec to ab you for an ounce of clout and aren't your friends, even the ones that claim it. You are very loudly screaming to every marketing team and advertising team, I will be a problem, don't contract with me. I don't think so. Seeing dropping sponsors aren't that uncommon, and to a group of people, you like the internet, because if they're trying to say left wing or LGBT or whatever, I'm gonna be honest, every single person on the internet has a chance. Every group has a chance of having backstabbers. We see it all over Twitch. We see it all over streaming. And your moral alliance does not make you less likely to backstab someone or be a bitch. Unfortunately, if you've watched enough of stuff, you've seen them come from all shapes, all places, all lands of life. Literally the other context. I'll insert here the clips if I care to find it. I don't think it's super important here, other than people are obviously upset and annoyed by Rin's post here, and I mentioned Kitsu talks about it, so I just want to clarify more into that. And I may or may not include this, I have not decided, but it's just, I wanted to show the popular opinions, not just one side of the opinions, you know what I mean? So, to give a balance back and forwards of what's being said here. I was disappointed that people were so upset, trying to extract content out of this is next level. People are being too bothered by this. You can choose to stop supporting the company, do that without making it about harassing anyone. This is pretty much the almost ideal way to do that without endorsing cancelling people. And a lot of people say there's just a lot of reasons in here. And as you can see, the tail tide from a lot of harassment to begin with to a lot of people just debating and reading back and forwards. Kitsu is locked now. I don't know if that's just she's accidentally, by even saying she has an opinion on this, gotten whiplash from this shitstorm. Because honestly, it's straying everywhere and it's getting a little feral. And it's, for me, it's not a big deal. And let me know in the comments below what you think. So sick of Twitter stuff. And I highlighted the top comments from the top people I can find in there, not just people I know I've seen there. And don't harass anyone, don't get up anyone, because everyone has different opinions based on different reasoning, I think, here. So even if you don't agree with them, I feel like they do bring some good ideas on why people could be upset. Some things can be enlightening even if you don't agree with them. Personally, I think this is not a big deal. Yeah, it could be saying, I don't like that person, but seeing a lot of people generally in these spheres don't like a lot of people, I think it's fine to have your opinion and say, I don't want to hang with that person. I don't want to have a sponsor that doesn't align with my point of view. It's fine. If they care enough to lose out on the money, that is their choice. And I wouldn't judge anyone, Christian, LGBTQ, or whatever, for standing by their values. Like, I respect a non-hypocrite more than a hypocrite. So, more power to them. But let me know in the comments below what you think, guys. Don't forget to like, ring that bell. I'll keep working on my other work, and I'll see you next time. And what do you think of this? Do you think this is a non-event and you don't understand sometimes? Or do you think this is worthy of the VTuber community's wrath? I'll catch you later, guys. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below. Bye-bye.